Hi everyone. So we're coming past Twin Dams and we've got these impala that are just in front of us that are alarm calling, and they're staring at whatever is making them alarm call. I am going to try and see if we can hear them. Just bear with me. Can we hear that? Sometimes our mic picks up things and sometimes not. We'll try again. Okay. I'm not sure if everyone can hear what we can hear, but at least you can see, and you can see the anxious look on their face. It's hard. A lot of what we hear in the bush and what our microphones and our equipment can pick up is two very different things. So I'm just going to slowly creep around because now I would like to try and find whatever it is that is bothering them. So please excuse me for not looking into the camera. I'm very busy looking into the bush here. I just want to see if they'll allow me to get in so that I can look from behind them in the direction that they're calling in. There's another little road that goes up here because it's always easier when you spot what they've spotted as opposed to trying to track afterwards. Also, because it rained a little bit this morning, the ground is going to be very heavy. Oh, there's the leopard. It's right in front of them. Right in front of them. Oh, fantastic. Ah, this is great. So the leopard can obviously see them. They're only about 5 or 6 meters away from each other, just in front of that main impala. The leopard's lying in the shade. The impalas must have come walking past and then obviously seen him. But now it's better the predator you see than the predator you don't. So this is one of the reasons why when you get alarm calls like this, you try and come in slowly as opposed to quickly, because these impalas, without them alarm calling, we would not have found the leopard this quickly. I was actually going to go up Milwaukee. I would have completely missed the whole thing without them. So one thing they also don't want to do is they don't necessarily want to turn tail and run, because when you turn tail and run, that's when you're exposing your weak point. So to me, this male leopard that's sitting here, which Nikki is saying looks like Tingana for her, I'm just going to put my binos on and have a look quickly, might, if they run away, come and try and grab them. Now, Nix, I think you're correct. It's a fat leopard with a big head and light color eyes, but I want to get a little bit closer to do... Oh, and of course our camera's done the work for us. So, all right, viewers, you let me know who you think this is. Remember, Tingana's got that 5-5 spot pattern above the lip, and then to me, he always has a bluish tinge to the eye. And it is, yes, I'm seeing that 5-5. I hope you all are seeing that as well from what I can see here. And also very thick neck, big older boy, well called necks. Andrew, thanks so much. You're agreeing with Nikki and I. Tingana, well done. Thank you. It's always nice when everybody at home helps us with IDs as well. Also, it stretches your skills. Ah, Philip, you're throwing a little spanner in the works here and saying you think it's Hassana. All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because he's not in stock mode, he's not hunting these impala, he's just lying in the shade and panting and probably annoyed that these impala are going on and on and on and on and on. I'm just going to move down the road slightly and then come up onto the fire break a little bit and then point my nose in so that we can see a little bit better what's going on. We are going to have a bit of the telephone poles in the way, but don't worry, that just means that some of the lodges aren't able to have telephone service for their guests, and it does happen. There's going to be a big bump. Ooh, another one and a couple more at the back. All right, now notice how the impala are not using us to get away. They are still adamant at staring at this leopard. Matt, astute observation. Matt, you're saying the leopard's breathing fast. He must have just eaten something. So Matt, yesterday evening we had Tingana, and he was very, very full, and he was also breathing like this. And then what's happened now is it's gotten very warm. So his belly is still full from yesterday, and it's warm, so that definitely has to do with it. Something behind us has caught his attention. Ferg's just having a quick look. Now, remember we were talking yesterday, Ferg and I were having that conversation about how Hassana likes to follow Tingana. And as you all know, we see multiple leopards here at multiple times in different areas. So it's entirely possible that Tingana made another kill yesterday. It's entirely possible there's another leopard around. There's so many different possibilities that are happening here. Now, as I say this, I'm just going to go quiet again. We're a little bit closer to the impala, and let's see if we can hear their noises a bit better now that I'm closer. Fantastic. There's going to be sound of a vehicle coming past us now. And they're going to come and join us because they're just seeing it as well. And they're going to be joining us in the sighting a little bit, so you'll hear them talking. Now, I'm still curious what is exactly behind us, because the wind is blowing and circling a little bit, so it's also entirely possible that even though they're seeing this leopard behind us, that they're also smelling another predator in the area, which would give them a bit more of a panic attack, not just the one that's sitting here. And I'm thinking that the initial Tinganas are correct. I'm also getting a little bit more blue in the eyes. To me, Hassana has those deep yellow. Also, this dewlap is very big. Francis from Israel, indeed, he is very, very majestic. I completely agree. And do we see that dewlap we were just talking about now there under his chin, that flap of skin there? Hassana's is not big like that yet. Hassana still has to grow into his dewlap the older they get. You see that there? And then we can see those long 5.5s on either side. And then I know he's sitting in the shade, but when I was looking with my binos now, he's got that beautiful blue tinge. And then Hassana, who, again, remember, I've only seen Hassana a handful of times. Hassana, to me, has deep golden eyes. Have a very, very different eye color. Now, Hassana's spot pattern, I can see what she is up to this afternoon. Stations, it's 2 Ingwes. Shadow, but I'm going to leave it up to all of you. Come interact with me. Who is this beautiful little female leopard? And you guys can let me know. So remember, those impala were alarm calling, and they were alarm calling at Tingana. And then remember, Tingana was ignoring them, and he was staring straight past us. So Ferg and I moved around again, and then here we go. This is what we found. We literally backed up, and she's staring right at us. So she must have heard those impala alarm calling, and then popped her head out because she was interested. And now she can also see Tingana, and Tingana can see her. Now, unfortunately, where I had to move, and she'll be hidden. So I'm going to stay with this leopard for now and see what she does, and then we'll move over to Tingana. I know that he's still there and hasn't moved because the impala are still staring at him and watching. And then far, far down the line, we also have a huge herd of elephants that's moving in. So within a 400-meter distance, we have 2 leopards, a herd of impala, and a big herd of elephants. This is the Sabi Sands. We talk often about how we have huge population densities of mammals, and trust me, they are here. Some days we see all of them, and some days we don't. Most of them have sort of crossed the road already, unfortunately. And then we're able to see very far because we're just on the side of a road, which also has a bit of a clearing that's called a fire break that we keep short in case a fire comes. It makes a larger area. And then it's also a space that's used for the for the telephone poles, we try and keep everything sort of together so that when we are in the bush, we don't run into too many man-made scenarios. I'm so excited. I hope everyone's as excited as I am. See, Tristan, I love you, but while you're away in your absence, I will take over your leopard duties. When you get back, you can have them back, and I'll take over the wild dogs. I think that's a fair enough assumption. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell everyone. So I had heard that Tristan had said that he thinks that the little cub is a female. But then I was chatting with Scott, and Scott's thinking that maybe he heard Tristan say it was a little male. So until Tristan gets back from leave, I think we'll leave that alone. I'm going to say that Tundi's little cub is going to be a male. That's my bet. And then we'll let Tristan confirm his bet when he is back. And then we'll have to see if Scott have decided who this little female is. Have we made an ID yet? My guess again would also be Shadow like Fergs, just because of where she's coming from and where Tundi was seen this morning. It's two opposite directions, and we're sitting on the sort of edge of Little Gowrie where Tundi's been. Now, where Shadow's been. Now, if this means that Shadow's here, possibly her youngster's around, and I would also love to be able to see her youngster. And I missed out on that epic sighting between Shadow, her youngster, and Tingana, so maybe we get another one. That would be fantastic. And don't forget, everyone, we are live, we are interactive. Send through those questions and comments, #Safari Live on Twitter or on the YouTube chat. Bex, oh, I completely forgot about Kuchava. Well done, Bex. Bex, you're saying it's Kuchava. She, for some reason, she always stays to the last one to pop into my head. Oh, fantastic. And I've only seen her twice before. Once when I was with Senzo and she was in a tree. Oh, sorry, I was with VM. She was in a tree far away. And then once with Senzo and Tristan. Oh, that's fantastic. This is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to have to take photos of her to add into my ID kits and put up some on the Instagram for all of you. Absolutely. We had that. So still have view, so I'm going to keep the view as best as we can. Those impala completely had a breakdown. You can hear them in the back. Oh, he's just lying down a little bit. He was so quiet as he crossed, and the wind was not. The wind was in his favor, not in favor for Kuchava. I'm as well, just to the left. They're probably about 10 meters from each other, which is about 10 yards. And he crept slowly. Maybe in a and listen. So that's the impala going completely crazy because of the movement of Tingana. Now, Kuchava grunted slightly as she was going up, and notice how she went to the tippy top. That means she's not necessarily ready for whatever he's trying. She could just be coming into estrus and just barely wanting to mate, and he can smell it already. I can't see him at the moment. I think he's in the thicker bushes down below. But how incredible was that, everybody? That was absolutely incredible. I just want to see if, oh, there, I can see Tingana moving at the base of the tree just a little bit. We've got Herbie with us. He's driving guests out of Djuma. So Ferg will show you just now. So you see he's just inside of that area. There he's doing the Flemen grimace, testing her urine to see if she's ready to mate. Could we all hear him doing his territorial call then? tested the urine to see if she's ready to mate, and then did his sawing territorial call. How incredible! And then lies down right where her urine was. He's interested in mating with her. That's definitely what's happening. She's just not quite ready yet, and there she is in the tree. And of course, the impala are going completely nuts. They're very unaware of the fact that neither leopard cares about either of them anymore, and only care about each other. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I've only been able to show guests mating leopards twice in just over a decade. I've seen it a handful more times, my own or when I was training guides. But that would be something I would really love to show to all of you on camera as mating leopards. It's such an interesting scenario, and the sounds that they make. When she is completely ready to mate, she will invite him into her space, and then it's actually quite difficult. And then also so that he makes sure that his genetic material gets in there nicely. We're just about to go to an action broadcast, everybody, so I'm just going to be quiet for a little bit. All right, everyone, welcome to this really special, amazing action broadcast coming to you live from the Sabi Sands in South Africa. We are sitting with two leopards. The one you can see on the screen is a big male leopard, and that he has sort of chased a female leopard up into the tree, just up in here, and he's laying at the base where she urinated and is busy testing her urine. He wants to mate with her, but she's not quite sure if she's ready to mate with him yet. She's probably just getting into her estrous cycle, and when she's not fully into her estrous cycle, sounds a little bit. When we first got here, we saw some impala, and they were alarm calling. Just excuse that as this vehicle is busy passing by. So sorry, we're on a main road, so we've got a little bit of people coming back and forth just trying to get to the gate. Excuse. All right. So then we heard those impalas alarm calling. So Ferg, who's on camera with me, we crept up slowly, and we were watching them, and we just came around the corner a little bit, and there was Tingana, this big male leopard sitting there in the shade. Then after a couple of minutes, he picked up his head and was looking, but not at the impala. He was looking behind. And so Ferg and I just backed up a little bit, and there was this beautiful female leopard, Kuchava, one of the resident females here. Louise, you're curious to know who is presenting. Sorry about that, Louise. That would be me. My name is Noelle. 3.5 hours or so every morning and every afternoon. We usually are on the YouTube, but every night on different platforms, different social media platforms. And so we love when you ask us questions and send them through. Related to Tingana. Now, as far as I know, Kuchava is the daughter of Tundi, one of our other female leopards who is dominant in this area, obviously with different territories. And it's possible that her father is Tingana, but it's also possible that her father is one of the other male leopards that also finds this area home. Listen. Did we all hear that? That is the territorial call of that male leopard Tingana. Now, to get back to your question, males and females that are related to each other will still mate with each other up to certain generations. So he could be the father, and then still mate with her, and that wouldn't be an issue. Not at all. You can see he's a nice big male and thick in the body, and he's very full. He had a kill yesterday. Interesting, Christine, you're saying that Tingana and Kuchava mated in September. If they mated in September, she would then be pregnant for 3 months and then give birth. And now that I'm actually saying this, for when you're done there, if we can just have a look at Kuchava, I just want everyone to see the backside of her belly. So September, October, November. We're actually, Christine, do you know when in September they mated? That was before my time, because if we look at Kuchava's stomach towards the back, do you see how it's sitting a little bit heavy? If they mated into mid to late September, and then she's pregnant for about 110 days, it would be round about now or within the next week or so that she would give birth. You see how heavy it is at the back there. Usually, when they mate, it takes every now and then a leopard will abort. Every now and then she'll give birth and the cubs don't survive. But in usual, it works. And I'm actually, now that we're having this conversation, interesting thought. Thanks so much for the update on that. I started with Safari Live at the beginning of November, so I would have missed on that mating scenario. Leopards and lions are roughly pregnant for about 3 months. I believe leopards are 110 days and lions are 100 days, or vice versa, but it's basically 3 months. Just over 3 months. 3 months and a week. So, yeah, if she did it mid-September to late September, and now October, November through December, she'll be just about there. Now, if she is pregnant, her urine will still smell like she wants to mate, just as a side thought. I also, if we have any viewers that were watching just now that watched that big male leopard walk past us, I want everyone to note how stocky his legs looked. And I want everyone to remember that we also still have Mvula in this area, because remember earlier we were talking about the different male leopards. Now, I quickly did a 5-5 scenario on that face, but for whoever's out there, Elaine, very interesting. You're saying Kuchava's father is believed to be Mvula. That's very interesting. That's the first 1 or 2 years different, but I will have to triple check with some of my friends that work around the sands and follow up on that so we can see. What I know about oh, sorry, you're saying Kuchava, not Tingana. I'm sorry, Elaine. I've got too much leopard on the brain. You're saying Kuchava's father is Mvula. Okay, I've got you now. Yes, that's what I'd heard. And I was thinking about Tingana. Sorry about that. Too much going on. Too much excitement. Yeah, that would make sense as well for Mvula to be Kuchava's dad. He was a big dominant male. Sean, you're asking what the temperature is here. It's warm. I'd probably say it's about 30, 32 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm sure someone can Google that and figure it out. Sorry about that sound in the back. Interact anymore. All right, everyone. So before we leave you after this special action broadcast, basically what happened is we had all of these impala alarm calling, and then we snuck in and we found them staring at this male leopard Tingana. And then as we were watching Tingana, he was looking behind the impala. And when he was looking behind the impala, we were saying, yes, there has to be another predator around here, because he was way too alert and he was ignoring these impala completely. He wasn't even annoyed enough to move off and walk away with all their alarm calling. So he just backed up a little bit, and there was Kuchava. Absolutely fantastic. Then he decided to get up. He stalked towards her. He laid down on the ground, and just as he laid down on the ground, she saw him, and he chased her up the tree a little bit, and she kind of growled, and then he smelled around where she had gone to the loo, and was testing her urine, bringing it into his organs of Jacobson, so that he was doing this, a Fleming grimace, so he could see if she was ready to mate, and also helps with IDs and things. And then he decided, ugh, I've had enough, and he went back to his other side of the road and is laying in the shade there. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing action broadcast, and I hope for those of you who are just discovering Safari Live, you keep following us live on YouTube after we go away from here. So she is eyeballing Tingana quite hectically, and I'm so sorry, Elaine, about messing up your question there. For some reason, Kuchava is always at the end of my list of leopards that I pick up, and for some reason, her name. So I think for now we're just going to keep an eye on the two of them. You will come back and join us as soon as possible. Welcome back, everybody. So Tingana is still lying in the shade, but he's positioned himself so he can keep staring at Kuchava. And Kuchava is still lying in her tree, and she has kept her position where she's still staring at Tingana. Now, I've got Herbie next to me with his guests, and as many of you know, Herbie is one of the guides that we use to do walks with. He does the safety perimeter so that the rest of us can present. It's very difficult to present whilst carrying a rifle and having your earpiece. And so Herbie is our extra little pair of hands. And Herb and I were just discussing when Kuchava was standing in the tree that we think she's pregnant, and we were just I'm talking about it. Where Herbie was parked, Herbie could actually see from his angle, it wasn't as shady, he could actually see her teats. So we are going to say 100% Kuchava is pregnant. That is definitely for sure. And with the help of all of you, we are saying that within the next week, we think she's going to drop. And I said to Herbie just now, she mustn't stay on that little gallery side. She must come over to our side, and she can have her babies over here. So we have Tondi farther up north in our property with her. Richard, you're curious to know if the reason why Kuchava is up the tree is for the safety of her cubs. So, Richard, she doesn't have cubs yet. She's still pregnant. And it is possible that she's up the tree because she feels more comfortable away from Tingana there because she's pregnant. But trust me, if Tingana wanted to do anything to her, that tree is not going to stop him from being able to do it. She's just showing her displeasure at him being too close by going up and getting to the tippy top and then saying that she's had enough. She needs him to stay away. And so he did. He respected her, and he came back down and over to his spot and is giving her a bit of space and watching her from a little bit of a distance. And that is my take on the whole scenario. She doesn't want him any closer than that. Now, if she were to have tiny little cubs somewhere nearby, she also doesn't want him around those tiny little cubs either. Ooh, my friend Scotty D still searching for Tondi and her little cub. So let's go back to him because I think he has something that either a lion or leopard would like to eat, and that is also just a nice to view. I don't know, Scotty D. He's so fat. Who knows if he'd go for them? But I think he'd go for the piglets. They're easier and they're tasty little morsels, and you can eat one and then carry on and grab some more. So we had a little bit of a sunset there. It's only really going to be sunset in the next sort of half an hour or so, but Ferg and I were hoping just to show you a little bit of the African ambiance, how absolutely fantastic. And here is Tingana. Same spot, doing same thing. Still no visual on Kuchava. She's obviously gone to where down that little drainage line wherever her little kill is, or it's probably actually a big kill now that I say that as both of them are quite full. And she's probably snacking away nicely while he sleeps over here. He barely even raised his head when we drove up. He rolled from one side to the other just before we came in. But this has pretty much been his stance. Now, it is cool enough that he should be moving about, but I think especially earlier in the drive when he was chasing Kuchava around, he used up too much energy in that heat. Tootie Beth, you're saying, thank you. Today's drive was absolutely fantastic to all of us. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We love hearing how much you all love the show. It means a lot to us. it's also fun for us as well when we get these many leopards. Ferg and I were actually sitting here, and we had Kuchava and Tingana, and we knew that Scott was busy looking for Tundi, and I was thinking in my head, oh, please find a leopard, and he did, and he got Hasana. So it's also for us, it's nice when each other gets good content, and it's also nice that when we get such excellent content through all of the streams that are out for all of you as well.
See his breath on the grass.
Christy, you're curious if when the leopards, say, we'll use that one for now since we're looking at a leopard, are trying for the sow, that maybe their skin's a little bit tougher, say like an older wildebeest, and so therefore then the predator will go for the piglets. Christy, I am going to say that they are probably a little bit tougher, also tougher in the fact that they're harder to catch. I mean, a warthog that does not want to be caught can really do some damage to any predator that's around. So that's another reason to go for the piglets. When it comes to something like the wildebeest, it's just that those baby wildebeest, especially for a leopard, are more in their size range and then also easier to catch because there's so many of them and they go into a panic. For something like a lion, yeah, they definitely love a baby wildebeest because it's a quick little snack, especially if they're pregnant. But remember, I mean, if you're a large pride of lions, you're still going to go for the larger parts. I've also seen prides of lions where they go for wildebeest and they'll catch adult wildebeest as well as a couple of young ones. And if there's any smaller lions around, the smaller ones will sort of learn how to hunt on those baby wildebeest. So I think definitely what you're saying plays a part in all of it as well. Oh, thanks, Tingana. So Tingana's breathing is rustling a bit of the bottom grass there, and then our wind's picking up. Hopefully going to chase these flies away from him that seem to be bothering him a little bit. And oh, there we go. There's your cat roll and stretch for the day. And a big sigh. So I think from this beautiful big male spotted leopard, we're going to head back over to Scotty D and his beautiful male leopard and see what Hassan is up to in the last little bit of golden light here in the African bush.